So today we're going to be talking about the MacBook and the Mac Mini with the M1 chip. First of all, let me just explain that I've watched a lot of reviews and I've read up a lot about the M1 chip, and I gotta say, I'm truly impressed, and I can't wait to test the M chips in general. I'm just not very excited about the M1 chip itself, and I wanted to explain why. So first of all, I got the MacBook Pro 16-inch, as some of you may know, and you know, it gets the job done. There is really no reason for me to upgrade that thing. And for some of you might be thinking, oh, but it gets so hot, you probably should get the M1 chip. And as I mentioned before, like, it's not a concern for me. Like, powerful computers get hot, like, make no mistake about it. And the M1 MacBooks and Mac Mini, they seem to handle heat very well. Like, they seem to be very cool, but just to be clear, like, don't expect miracles. Like, it's not gonna be ice cold all the time. It will generate heat. Even my iPhone will generate heat from time to time. If I didn't have the case on, I would notice it more clearly. Other reasons, and this is probably a more important reason why you shouldn't get the MacBook with the M1 chip, is that, you know, the M1, to me, that's like, you know, let me put it this way. It's like pancakes. You're making pancakes and you always toss the first pancake. I mean, that's what you should do. Me personally, I always eat the first pancake. But the first pancake is never as good as the rest of the pancakes. You know, it sort of looks weird and, you know, it's just a throwaway. It's a toss away, you know, and that's sort of the way I look at the M1 chip. Like, don't get me wrong, it obviously performs extremely well. Like, I think a lot of tech YouTubers were probably pleasantly surprised when they tested it. I am considering getting the Mac Mini with the M1 chip, but it's like, it's not something that I like really need, so I'm not in a hurry to get it, you know what I mean? I think that you probably should wait for like the M1X chip or the M2 chip, whichever the next M chip will be called, because I think they will iron out a lot of kinks that the M1 has. And also, like, give it time. There's still so much happening in the whole Mac OS system updates. Like, there is a lot of software right now that is currently not working on the M1 CPUs. Now, for me, it will be a no issue because I basically mostly use Final Cut Pro, so Final Cut Pro apparently works brilliantly on the M1 chip. But if you're someone who works with Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, the software is not fully utilized to be using the M1 chip just yet. So take your time, don't hurry. Like, again, I think it's an extremely cool piece of technology. I'm super thrilled that Apple has done what they have done, you know, making their own chips, like really giving Intel a reason to really push the envelope. I've been playing around with computers for so many years. I've been through all sorts of times. There was a time when AMD chips were better than Intel, and then there was a time when Intel was just vastly superior to AMD CPUs. And it just goes back and forth all the time. And like, there's never gonna be this one CPU manufacturer that will be always on top. Like, most of the time Intel is on top. Sometimes you get a bit cocky when you're on top. Like this goes with everything, with sports and everything. And Intel got pretty lazy. Like, they didn't see a reason to work on making newer and better processors. They basically just did very slight adjustments, and, you know, AMD, they caught up. Intel, Apple caught up. Like, Intel is right now, trust me, Intel is probably working really hard right now to get back on top, because right now they're losing market shares and fast. And I'm telling you, when the M2 chips comes out, Intel is gonna be really scared. And I think even AMD is gonna be really scared also, but time will tell. This is really not that discussion. I just think that when it comes to the M1 chip, like, yes, I am truly impressed, and yes, I want to test it out, but I don't think it's a good purchase at this time. I think it's better to wait until we see what the M2 can do, because I think that, like, the M2, like, I've been hearing some crazy rumors about the M2, like it's gonna have 64 cores, like it's gonna be amazing. You gotta remember that the M1 chip currently works on the base models you know, the regular MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air, but we still have the Mac Pro, we still have the iMac. You know, the M chip has a long way to go still. It still has to deliver really good graphics. And this is where it will be really interesting to see if they can actually deliver. Can they really compete with current GPUs out there? I don't know, because currently the M1 chip, it can't really compete with the best of NVIDIA. You know, it just can't. Like, it's too limited. But next year, who knows? Okay, that's all I have for today. I just wanted to share some thoughts about the M1 chip. And so I'll see you in the next one. Take care.